What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Stellar Lumens today, XLM. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, all right? It is the 19th of June today. Here we are at about 25 cents, just below there. Looking like we're consolidating still, right? We made our move up here. If we're looking at the price, you had a nice downtrend from November 24th all the way down to April 7th, probably. Yes, most cryptos bounced on April 7th there. And you broke out. You broke out of your downtrend. Absolutely, you broke out, right? If you look at this from oh, that's not what I was trying to go for there. Look at this from the highs, right? Lower highs the whole way through up until you broke out right about there. And now you're actually back testing, I think. You're finding support on this prior area of resistance. Maybe this is the way to draw it. Maybe it's better fit down here, and then if I move this over here, whatever. I feel like it's clear. No matter how you cut it, I feel like it's pretty clear that you have broken out of your downtrend. Now you're just consolidating, you're configuring, you're getting ready, and this is actually pretty common to do, right? Whenever you break out of a downtrend, you get that breakout move, you configure, you get rid of the tourists, right? Tourists are here for the good times, but they're not here for the bad times. You shake out the weak hands, and you give people an opportunity who wanted to buy down here but didn't have the brass to do it. They saw this like, damn it, I missed my chance. Now you have another chance to buy. And here we are at 25 cents. That's exactly what this is. And not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I do think we'll go a little bit lower. But even here at 25 cents, I mean, in the grand scope of things, from November 24th, you look at this for what it is, you're at a good place to buy. You're at the lower ends of this overall range. Yes, 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 yes. Of course, we're up here, of course. But we're not going all the way back down there, you guys. That's not happening. That's not happening. You're not going below this low. That's not happening. But relatively speaking, sure, you'll go a little bit lower. But still, also relatively speaking, you're at a prime area to buy. Don't let me stop you. Okay, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. If you've got your finger on that buy button, go ahead and press it. Do it. You know, do whatever you want to do. But I do think the price is going to go down. We're going to try to explain that in this video. Okay, so again, if that sounds good to you, hit the like button and subscribe. Let's get into it. 1 hour time frame. 1 hour right here. About 25 cents, just below there. Volume's picking up. It is the weekend. I don't expect too much to happen between now and the next couple of days, but sometimes over these long weekends, we do see some crazy price action, but most of the time it's boring. I mean, you can go back and you can look at long weekends over Bitcoin's history, over crypto's history, and typically we don't get anything that's like too crazy to happen. Maybe some volatility, but we don't really see like a torrential downward move or a breakout to the upside typically over these long weekends. It's actually just a time to be very boring, slow moving, right? If we're looking at this on the 1 hour time frame, the MACD has rejected the zero line, coming down, building bearish momentum. Stochastics are oversold. RSI rejecting the 60 area here. You're getting higher highs in the RSI while getting lower highs in the price. It's clear as day, right? That's what you're doing there. Finding a little support here off the oversold area. Wouldn't surprise me if you came up a little bit, but ultimately working your way down probably, right? Getting into that oversold zone over the weekend probably. So you're at 24.9 cents now. If you move up to 25 cents, if you move up to like 25.3 cents, hell, even if you go above there, I wouldn't get too bullish on this thing. I think that you have lower to go. You probably likely will go below 24.5 cents or more, right? And probably the or more option. Very bearish on the RSI, bearish on the stochastics, and the MACD, I would say, is bearish too. Maybe not very bearish, but bearish. 4 hour time frame here. Looking at the 4 hour. You bounced off the oversold zone. You got above the 40 and you just relinquished it, man. You had such a bullish, that is a bullish thing you did, and you gave it up. You had no volume. You had no follow through. That's not good. And typically, I mean, if you do that at a relative low, that means it's not the relative low. You're going to go lower. Finding resistance at prior support. Prior support here, you found direct resistance with this good bounce off the oversold zone. You found bearish resistance. Not a good look, man. And you look like you're moving down with a purpose. So I really wouldn't be surprised if by the end of today, going into tomorrow, you were below this low here. And maybe not by the end of today, actually, because we only have 2 4 hour candles left. But definitely, I would expect tomorrow, over the weekend, you'll be below this low. You do not have bullish divergence. If anybody's wondering, is this bullish divergence? It's not bullish divergence. But you have a low. It's a higher low, and then another higher low. Yes, 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 yes. And you have lower lows here. I get why you might think it's bullish divergence, but it's not. You have a lower low here and a lower low there. It's not bullish divergence, right? You're lower than this low over here, right? You're just cherry picking. If you call this bullish divergence, you're cherry picking. It's too far apart. It's too far apart, right? There's no more bullish divergence than this was here. And in all fairness, you did have higher lows and you had lower lows here, and it worked out for you. I'm not saying you can't move up from here, but I wouldn't expect it to sustain. Stochastics, while looking somewhat bullishly postured right now, I would say are bearishly postured, because it's either you get out of the oversold zone or you don't, and it's looking like you don't, right? Sometimes you do get out and then back in, it looks like, and I think that's what we're going to do here. I mean, after all, we've kind of done that like every other time except for this time here over the last like handful of instances, so I wouldn't be surprised if we go lower. MACD, yes, you have a dying off of bearish momentum now, but I really wouldn't be surprised by the end of this 4-hour candle if you came down and started building more bearish momentum. I stand by it. I think you're going lower. So now that we've established that, looking at the daily time frame, building bearish momentum. Stochastics are oversold, not good. RSI looks like it wants to get oversold, not good. So you're probably going to go lower. Where are you going to go? Well, we already believe that we're not going below this low, so let's take a low to a high here. Low to high. And I can already tell you where I think we're going to go, but let's just see if the fibs line up with this as well. Let's do a low to high here. Low to high right there. Come on now. Right. Well, lower than I would have expected. I would have guessed 24.3 to 23.4 cents, but after looking at this fib, maybe you do go below 23 cents. Maybe you do see a 22.3 cent to 21.2 cent area. Maybe you do see that. I'm expecting Bitcoin to drop a little bit, XRP to drop a little bit, Stellar Lumens might drop a little bit more. Yeah, you know, I think 22 cents, just above 22 cents sounds about right. If you don't find support there, that's okay. That's okay. But right around 22 to 21.2 cents, something in that area, that's where I think you'll find support. Overall, if we're looking at this right, that's just going to be a higher low, right? Something in this area here, something like that. It'll be a higher low. You'll be setting yourself up for this nice kind of like W-shaped recovery, and typically W's go above if they're successful, and I think this one will be successful. It'll go above where it formed, or maybe it formed up here. Maybe it's a deeper W than that, whatever. But it's not a bad look, right? This kind of look where you have this coming in like this, that's not a bad look. But you have you're forming your higher low. Maybe you form a double bottom, but I'm not anticipating that personally for Stellar Lumens. I'm anticipating that for a lot of different cryptos, but I think Stellar will hold 22 to 21 cents. Probably you even have a chance of holding just above 22 cents. You're at 24.8 cents now. Afterwards, we're anticipating higher prices. Absolutely we are. I mean, this thing looks like a massive bull flag, right? You've just broken out of it. You're testing the waters. Whenever you break out, whenever you continue higher from a low to a high, here's your flagpole measure move. You put this at the base of your flag to get the measure move calculated on there properly. If we can put it at the base, yes, right there, and that would take you all the way up to about $1.40. Okay, $1.40. Maybe that's a good minimum target. Minimum target is what I'm expecting, right? Minimum at the least you would get here. 24.8 cents now, $1.41 at a minimum over the weeks to come. Over the weeks to come, by the end of July, I wouldn't be surprised if you're there. If not, going into August, it's very possible. We take a, oh, that's not the right one. High to low. Come on now, let's get the low on there. Low, 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 low. There we go. There's the low. There's the high. Come on now. High to low. You see this? This is why I have a problem with that area, though. Right? Minimum target, $1.40, sure. But you spent multiple cycles consolidating just so when you break out to new all-time highs, right? You're in a multi-cycle consolidation phase since 2018, the very beginning of 2018. We're midway through 2025 now. It's been, what, that's 7 years? 7.5 years? 7.5 years you've been consolidating in this range just to get a little taste right here. You're not even hitting your minimum fib extension? I don't think so. I don't think so, man. Yes, this is the measure move of the bull flag, but the thing is you can exceed measure moves. You absolutely can exceed measure moves. You can fall short of them, too. There's no reason that you can't find resistance at about 93 cents, 62 cents. I'm sure you do find resistance on your way up, but you're probably moving all the way up, I would think, to 246, somewhere around there. 246 makes sense to me. If we take a high to a low here, if I can get it, relative high, from the last bull cycle to the bear market low, a good kind of illustration why this is a good minimum target area. That 1272 is there, so it could happen. But I think going above the 1414 here, that's a very common thing to do, is not to find resistance at the 1414, but to go just above it. $2.46, somewhere around there. I like that. I think that's where you're going to go. That's your next endeavor. And it's probably going to be much like this one here. You might not see it happen in 3 weeks' time, but it's going to move very, very fast. You're going to make up for this boring half a year or more that you've been consolidating here, and you're definitely going to see, I would think, prices that are above $1.50, but probably below $2.50. I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.